Welcome back. I'm continuing my puzzle ratings climb. At least that is the plan. Here, it looks like I can say check, but the king has an escape square and I don't have a good follow-up. However, it also looks like I can go here first, which guards these two squares. I mean, the pawn's already guarding the one. Then, looks like white doesn't have much of a move after that, and then I can say checkmate. They're just going to be able to block, and that's all that white can do. Okay, 14. I must have gotten that one quicker than normal. That's good. I'm getting faster. Okay. Here, do I have no safe checks? Looks like. Wait. Yeah, this rook and this rook see each other, which something bad is going to happen to one of them here in just a second. So that means I shouldn't go to one of those two squares. I'm not sure what that queen is doing over here. It would be nice if I could get rid of that rook. If that rook were no longer there, then one of these checks would be great. I'm wondering if I take the rook. I don't think the king would take, because I would have a follow-up check. Perhaps the knight would recapture, and then I would have a follow-up check here. This one is tough. And if the king does take, I have the follow-up check here with the second rook. Okay, the king did not take, so I have follow-up check here. I also have a follow-up check here. However, the check on the F file, then either one of the knights could simply block there. So that wouldn't be great. I really want to take the pawn. I do notice that the bishop is guarding this square. But when I take the pawn and say check, the king then will be able to escape a couple of different ways. I am not sure if this is the right answer, but I'm going to do it because it's check and it gains me another piece. Oh, apparently I overthought that. This was just about gaining a pawn. A rook for a rook and then gaining a pawn. Okay. Sometimes it's frustrating when I do overthink them, but I would rather overthink the position than than underthink it and get it wrong. For example, here I have this check with the knight. The king would not be able to come this way because of without the knight here, this would be guarded. So let's see. The knight here is check. The king, there's nothing that they can do to attack that square, so the king would be forced back. Then instead of taking the free rook, it looks like I could put my queen here, which this knight would capture, and then this rook would capture, and it would be checkmate. That's what I'm going to try. Okay. Sacrifice the queen because it's going to be checkmate soon. Okay. 11 points. Wow. We might break 1,600 today. I don't know if you can hear on this microphone, but a neighbor somewhere nearby has turned up, sounds like a car stereo, really loud, which is incredibly distracting when I'm trying to concentrate here. If the rook were not here, that would be checkmate, but the rook is there. Another possibility is this check. which looks like would force the rook to block, or the bishop. No, the bishop would block, I think. But I would go ahead and take it because I'm remembering that this is checkmate if the rook is gone. So if I took the bishop, if the rook captured or tried to block, then I have checkmate. Okay. Yeah. And now I don't think there's anything to stop checkmate. I broke 1601. Oh my goodness. I broke 1600 and I'm only past 5 minutes. I'm going to cross my fingers and go to... Oh, these are the hardest ones. These are the hardest ones. I have a passed pawn, but if I move it, this king gets in the way pretty quickly. And they also have passed pawns. These are not. Perhaps obviously these two are not passed pawns, although one of them could become so. It looks like then, in order to get my passed pawn down, I have to first block their king from coming closer. Oh, I don't know if that's right. But I know if I don't. For example, if I moved my pawn first and they go here, I have the follow-up move that is check, but then they can just go there. Wait. Move this. They come closer because they need to guard my promotion square, right? But what if I then go down? Then they can't get any closer. And even if they try to come back, it's guarded. No, they wouldn't be able to come back, right? Because that would be check. That would be their only move, right? Because once this pawn is here, it's guarded by the king. So it would be pointless for them to go here because I would just go past it. So I would go here. They would have to go there. I would move my king to prevent them from getting to the promotion square. They couldn't come back because the pawn would be here and that would be check. And all these three would be guarded by the king. I probably have overthought this one, but let's go. Okay. Now that's check. And they can't get in the way of it. Oh, okay. 1608. Okay. That rook thinks that it is threatening my queen somehow. However, my queen can simply sidestep, say check, and thus guarding these squares that the king is already guarding. And it would also be guarding that square, incidentally. So the king would be forced back. It would not want to go there, because then that would be checkmate. So it would go here to guard the rook. I've got too many arrows now. Okay, so let's say check. These squares are guarded, as is that one. Moving straight back would result in a checkmate. So it would go here to guard the rook. And then my rook is hanging. No, not protected at all from this. Okay, goodness. Check. Escape. Then if I capture the rook, the king captures back. And what do I have? What do I have? I feel like that's the end there, and I've just traded a rook to get my queen here. Would I have? I wouldn't have a good... I mean, I would have a follow-up check. See how this gets so complicated, and imagine me trying to figure these out in a 10-minute game where I'm down to, at this point in the game, I would be down to 2 or 3 minutes on the clock. But I'm certain that in a game I would go here and say check. I probably wouldn't even have time to calculate that that square is blocked. But I would assume the king would move back. Then in a game, I'm already down a rook. You know what? You know what I could then do? If the king went back, I can go check here, which would force the king away from the rook. Okay. Whew. All right, I've passed 10 minutes. I solved several puzzles in a row. I'm over 1600. I'm very happy. Thank you for watching. Come back next time.